YouTube, it's Activist back with a brand new video. So, I want to talk about forest bathing in this video. Now, I did kind of a video on this. I say sort of kind of a video on this because I talked about like hiking in the woods, but I didn't really go into detail on forest bathing and why it's a good thing and why you should do it. So first things first, what the hell is forest bathing? It's not literally bathing in the forest. Like it's not literally going to a fucking bathtub and bathing in the forest, obviously. But what it is, it's the act of going out in the woods or the forest and focusing on nature, your breath, and your senses to connect with nature. Being completely present without the use of any modern technology, meaning no earphones should be in your ear, your phone should be off and in your bag or in your pocket. It's such an immensely beneficial thing to do that Japan has it as one of their country's health programs, where there it's called Shinrin-yoku. The benefits are very wide range. A study in 2007 showed that forest bathing reduced cortisol hormones, which is the stress hormone that I guarantee you have. Everyone that lives in a country like, especially the United States, so everyone who lives in the United States, especially, likely has high cortisol levels. Now, stress, they say, now of course, stress literally is a silent killer. It leads to things like high blood pressure, heart attacks, strokes, cancer. They're like, stress can kill you in so many different ways. Like, I think you can literally even have an aneurysm. You can have an aneurysm from being too stressed out. You can literally have a psychotic break from being too stressed out. Stress can kill you in so many different ways that, yeah, you should do whatever you can, especially if you live in a country where certain factors are out of your control as to why your cortisol levels might be elevated, such as the United States, for example. Do whatever you can do to reduce that level. And what better way than connecting with nature, doing something that we are meant to do as humans? Because let's face it, we as humans are not meant to be staring at fucking tail lights for majority of the day. We're not meant to be in fucking cubicles majority of the day. We're meant to be like out within nature. There's a reason why people who live in the city go to like rural areas to unwind and unplug from the city life for a bit, because that stuff is not that's not the way we're meant to live. I'm not necessarily saying that like the development of major cities was bad for human beings, though it kind of was, depending on how you look at it. This video. This is a topic for another. This is a topic for another channel. Let me stay on fucking point in this. But anyway, I'm not necessarily saying that the development of human civilization, the development of cities, as a result of that, is a bad thing. But I am saying that the way that we live in America is not the way that humans are meant to live whatsoever. So why not get a taste of how humans are actually supposed to live by being within nature and connecting with nature? Continuing, a study in 2010 found that people who walk in the forest twice a day for 2 hours had stronger cancer fighting cells. A 2011 study showed that forest bathing lowers your blood pressure. It also improves anxiety, stress, and depression levels. It improves your focus and your presence, of course, because you're within nature, focusing on your breath, focusing on nature in the present moment. And it improves your creativity. And I can tell you that by experience. It 100% does improve your creativity, because if you're a creative person, and yes, creating content, any kind of content that you create on YouTube, you're creative. You don't have it's a wide spectrum. The term creative is a wide spectrum, so this covers the entire umbrella of creatives. I'm talking YouTubers, graphic designers, people who sell clothes and make their own clothes, make and sell their own clothes. Anyone under that umbrella of a creative. And you honestly don't even got to be under that umbrella as a creative. Like, it's just naturally gonna come to you when you're out in nature like that, especially in the forest. Like, and you're connected with nature. You might think of, like, let's say for example, you make films. You might think in that moment, this would be a good setting for a film, for a short film. If you do art, you might look at like you might look at an elevated view, like an aerial view that you have of like a field of flowers just right in front of you, like a long, vast field of these multicolored flowers just right in front of you. They're growing, they're wild flowers. It's not like people planted them there. These are wild flowers. They're just like multicolored and growing in this like vast field that you have this elevated view of. You remember that and then you paint that. Or you paint something inspired by it. You might paint like, I don't know, a fish that has the colors of the flowers that you saw in the field. And those are just a few ways that I'm listing off, honestly, right there. But let's go ahead and get into how to do it. So this is a beginner's guide to forest bathing. I'm assuming that you are someone who has never done anything like forest bathing before. You've likely never meditated before. So step one. So we're gonna do a little. So step one is gonna be a quick presence exercise, a quick meditation exercise. You're gonna turn off your phone and you're gonna practice meditating without any apps or without any music, just listening to the noise and the ambience around you. Meaning, if you live in a city and you hear traffic, yeah, take that sound in. Observe the sounds around you. No phone, no apps, nothing. Just the sound around you, whatever noise is around you, whatever ambience is around you. Meditate with that. On to step two. This is a quick presence exercise that can literally be done anywhere at any time. You close your eyes and you focus on a single sound for 15 to 30 seconds. Then you open your eyes and focus on something that you see for the same amount of time, taking in the details as you observe it. Lastly, you're going to focus on the smell of wherever you are in that moment for about 10 seconds. Now, doing that exercise, at first it might seem like, okay, what the fuck am I doing this for? But seriously, that's an exercise that can help you with presence if you're someone who's like chronically distracted. Like if you're I've said it in another bit. I've said this before that I believe we're in a chronically online society, especially after 2020. So many people are chronically online. Like even those who judge people for being chronically online. Like I honestly even say that I'm guilty of that myself. Now, granted, I do make content, so I do kind of have a reason to be online a lot, but I'm definitely not online as much as I used to be. Like I used to be on social media like Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all the apps you can think of all the time, and it took up so much of my time. Like I couldn't get a lot of shit done as a result of that. I was terribly distracted by these social media apps, and if you're someone who's super active on social media, your attention span is likely fried. You likely can't focus for a long period of time. It's like good that you're this far into the video and you haven't clicked off or scrolled down to the comments or fucked around in like the suggested feed to see what else is there. You stayed focused on this video, which is a good sign. So I know you can do this, and I know this is going to work for you, and I know it's going to be effective for you. This exercise is important though. If you actually want to, before you actually go to the woods though, that exercise is important before you go to the woods or especially a forest, and especially the way that we're going to do it, because you got to remember you're going to the wilderness. You are going to the wilderness where there will be wild animals, so you want to be aware of your surroundings. Again, important tip, I recommend if you're someone who's got like a pretty fucked up attention span, before like doing your first forest bathing session, I would do that exercise for about twice a day for about 3 days. Do that exercise twice a day for about 3 days. And then we're going to move on to step three. Step three, you're going to put together a bag filled with essential items for any hike. So you bring snacks, you bring water, bring you something for protection just in case you need it. Bring a little first aid kit just in case you slip, fall, and hurt yourself or scrape yourself on anything. And you'd rather need a lot of this stuff and you'd rather have a lot of this stuff and not need it than need a lot of this stuff and not have it. So, for example, you're forest bathing, you slip on a slippery rock and you scrape yourself and you're bleeding quite a bit. You're only halfway through the forest or the halfway through the trail, and you'd rather get that cleaned up and bandaged up pretty quickly. instead of having to like call somebody or tough it out till you get to the end of the trail. You'd much rather just have it with a low chance of that happening than need it when something like that happens, or if something like that were to happen, or let's say an animal runs up on you, like a mountain lion runs up on you. I also suggest that whatever trail you pick to walk, it's in some woods, in some woodsy area or foresty area that you know. It's in like it's a trail that you know that you've been on before. Like even if it was years ago, you at least have been on it before, or you learn the trail before you do your first forest bathing session, or just go far enough to where you can just turn straight around and it's a straight shot back. If you don't know the trail, then I don't suggest trying to walk the full trail without some kind of like compass or knowledge to get around, like the woods of the forest. Which, if you've got knowledge to get around the woods of the forest, I like without technology, I don't know what you're doing in this video, but welcome anyway. Step 4, find a trail or any area mostly surrounded by trees, away from the sounds of traffic or anything else that's not coming from nature. Parks are honestly the best spot for this. Usually the best spot for this. Because usually in a public park or in a city park, you can find some kind of trailhead that will take you to the woods. It'll take you to like some little mini forest or like mini woods, and you can go for a little walk in there and literally do this in there. And on top of that, they'll usually have little benches in case you don't want to sit in the grass whenever you meditate or you just sit and observe your surroundings. They usually have little benches in there that you can sit. Uh, that you can sit on, and all you'll have to really do for the most part might be just like dust some leaves off if it's the fall and like the leaves just fell off the tree. Step 5, turn off your phone before you even enter. Yeah, don't snap some pictures when you're halfway through and then turn off your phone, or walk in and then turn on and then snap a picture for your Instagram story and then turn off your phone. No, before you even go on that trailhead and enter the woods, turn the phone off. Turn the phone off and put it in your bag or put it in your pocket. Then start hiking the trail, but take your time a little bit more than you would on a traditional hike. Stop at a few points and observe the trees, the foliage, the bushes. Take in the sound of the wind blowing through the woods. Take in the sound of the squirrels dropping acorns. If you have a nice elevated view below you, like the one I talked about earlier, look at that and soak in the beauty. You see a mountain that's towering you in the distance. Soak in the beauty of that. Soak in the beauty of the world around you. Soak in the beauty of the birds chirping. Soak in everything. And really take your time doing this. Like allow yourself to really feel like you're at home almost. Not like you're gonna live in the forest or move in the forest. Almost in a way feel like you were at home or in a natural habitat, like in a natural environment that you feel connected to. Towards the end of the trail, this is the last step. Find a stopping point sometime before you exit the forest and meditate for 5 minutes at a minimum. Now, why do I say meditate for 5 minutes at a minimum? On the hike, you should have been focusing on nature and the sounds of nature, the trees around you, the things you're observing with all of your senses. Meditating, you're focusing on this is your choice at this point. A, your breath. B, one specific thought. Or C, introspection. Look inward. Meditate and look inward as you do. Now, when you're doing something like that, like introspection, for some introspection meditation, at the end of a forest bathing session, I honestly suggest longer than 5 minutes, about 15 minutes, honestly, if it's for introspection. But if you're focusing on just your breath or one specific thought, 5 minutes is cool. Bonus. Resist any urge that you have to pull out your phone and take photos or videos for your Instagram story. I don't care how beautiful that view is, this trail is going to be there. if you're forest bathing, stick to the fucking plan. Stick to it. Meaning no phone. Keep that phone in your pocket. Keep that phone in your bag. Do not take it out and turn it on and start taking pictures for Instagram or start taking pictures for Snapchat. It should only be off. It should be off and only turned on in the event of an emergency. So that means if you get bitten by a snake or something on the trail and you need to call 911 or a park ranger ASAP, then yep, absolutely pull out your phone, turn it on ASAP, and immediately call emergency services. But if you just want to snap some pictures for fucking Snapchat or TikTok, you can do that another day. You can do that on a day when you're just generally walking in the forest or walking in the woods, walking on that same trail, just to be out there, not necessarily forest bathing. You're just out there, just on a hike or just to be out. Then, yeah, sure, whatever. Take some photos for Instagram, for Snapchat. But when you're forest bathing, stick to it and keep that damn phone off and in your pocket or in your bag. Now that you got to this part of the video, I am going to leave you with an assignment. Oh, yeah, I'm giving homework. I'm giving homework. Don't worry, though. It's fun. You're going to go forest bathing, and you're going to do it for 2 weeks. Since you made it to this part of the video, you're definitely interested in doing this, and you're going to do it. So I know you're going to probably do it. Go forest bathing. Do it for 2 weeks, and then let me know. And then drop. Go forest bathing. Do it for 2 weeks. Update us in the comments. Tell us your experience in the comments. Write down. I would journal as well. Honestly, the only thing that I almost forgot this. The only thing that I would take on this. What I would take on this instead of your phone, what I would take on this to like capture memories or whatever, uh, or utilize it with your meditation or forest bathing, is a notebook. And a notebook and a pen, a little mini journal, and journal. So, back to what I was saying. Your assignment. Go ahead and journal how you're feeling now. Your stress levels now. Your anxiety levels now. Your depression levels, the things that are worrying you. Journal that. Then log day one of your first forest bathing session. Then 14 days later, 2 weeks from then, log that, and compare the difference in how you feel as compared to day one. Let us know in the comments too. Like, let us all know in the comments. And then after those 2 weeks, after another 2 weeks, update your journal. And then update us in the comments. Because not only am I telling you from experience that this stuff is truly beneficial, you got a whole country that has this as a health program. So if that doesn't tell you that forest bathing, and honestly just simple logic should tell you that forest bathing is insanely beneficial for human beings, especially in this crazy modern world that we live in, where we've got all of this technology, and people with internet addictions, social media addictions, all these different addictions. Yeah, sometimes it's good to unplug and just take in nature like a human being should. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up if this video helped you. Subscribe if you're new. Like I said, update us in the comments on what your experience is from forest bathing, what benefits you felt since starting forest bathing. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Take good care of yourselves out there. Go do something positive for somebody in the world. I'll see y'all.